Take control of your finances. Gain insights from top industry professionals. Financial topics that matter to you from your go-to resource. This is Right on the Money with your host, Dennis Mattern.
Hello and welcome to Right on the Money, the show that features financial advisors, insurance professionals, and fiduciaries who discuss financial topics that empower you to take control of your finances. I'm your host, Dennis Mattern. We are so glad you've taken time out of your day to spend with us. I want to remind you, of course, that you can watch full episodes on our YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com. Okay, our guest today, Terry DuPont, Managing Director of Redwood Tax Specialist. He also is the founder and Chief Success Officer of DuPont Wealth Management. Terry, great to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate being here.
For those people that haven't met you, one of the things that they're going to find out very quickly is your expertise when it comes to managing taxes. And with that, we're going to talk today, the conversation I want to have is the work that you're doing with business owners. So what are some of the challenges facing business owners today?
Yeah, good question, Dennis. I mean, obviously, before the pandemic, they had challenges of, that every business owner has, and taxes is one of the biggest ones. After the pandemic, they've still got the tax problems. It's even greater now with all the money we've spent. But now they have staffing problems and supply chain problems as well. I wish I could help them with those two, but I can help them more on the tax situation.
Now, to clarify, when we're talking taxes, we're talking, so we've got a business owner who he or she very successful, they're doing well, but a lot of times people forget, the old saying, the cobbler's kids don't have shoes. They need to think about their retirement and what they're doing to make sure that when they're done working that they can stay retired. So you've put out a booklet, The Never Taxed Wealth Blueprint. And in there, I love that booklet. In that blueprint, you have an analogy about a leaky bucket. What the heck does that have to do with taxes, retirement, and wealth? A leaky bucket. Walk us through that.
Yeah, well, if you ask anybody, including a business owner, what their largest expense is, they're probably going to say their mortgage or health care or something, or payroll for business owners, or operating expenses for business owners. But I contend that anyone, whether they're a business owner or individual, their largest expense over their life is going to be income taxes and estate taxes and capital gains taxes, and the other taxes that haven't come along yet.
Now, you in that booklet, this is one thing that I love. You mentioned, and I want you to walk us through this just a little bit. But in the booklet, you say that there are two tax systems in America, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, most people think that taxes are just a way of life and there's nothing that you can do about it. But the wealthy and privileged and large corporations in this country have proved that that's wrong. There's over 75,000 pages of the Internal Revenue Code chock full of strategies for business owners to reduce their tax burden. And if they're not informed, they're not going to know about it, and they're going to pay taxes over and above what they probably should.
So pretty much every successful business owner is working with a CPA. You say that can be a huge problem. Why?
Well, working with a CPA is not a problem. I think everyone should. But if they're working only with a CPA, they're likely missing some tax reduction and tax planning strategies. The reason for that, Dennis, is that CPAs, although, and I know some really good ones, and most of them out there are really good CPAs, they weren't trained in tax reduction planning. They were trained in tax preparation, auditing, bookkeeping, etc. Everything except tax reduction planning. It's a misconception that we have as an American public that CPAs and accountants, enrolled agents, etc., are supposed to be tax specialists. They're tax preparation specialists, with a few exceptions. And so that's why a tax planner you should work with a tax planner in conjunction with your CPA as a team.
Now, I love in the booklet you give different examples, and you talk about the difference between tax. Would you rather tax the seed or tax the harvest? One of the questions you pose, I'm so curious what you're going to say here, is you pose the question: does 100% tax deferred make sense anymore? Tell us about that.
Well, when IRAs and 401ks were invented back in the 70s, it was a good thing then because there was a really big incentive to contribute to an IRA or 401k and get a tax deduction. Tax rates were higher then. We're in some of our lowest tax brackets we've ever been in as a country right now in 2022. And yet our debt is higher and higher and higher and getting worse and worse and worse. And so taxes have to go up. There's just no way around it. And so that plus other things that have happened in the economy have made the 401k and the IRA lose a lot of its favor and tax advantage because many people will be in a higher tax bracket when they take money out of those accounts than they were when they put the money in. And so the arbitrage worked in reverse for them. And so it's going to cost them more to take the money out than they saved to put the money in.
Now, you mentioned 3 options when it comes to paying taxes. What are they? I'll put you on the spot. What are they? And how do I know what's best for me?
Good question, Dennis. Well, the 3 options are tax me now, okay? And that'd be like a bank account, a joint or non-qualified brokerage account, something that you get a 1099 on each year. Then there are tax deferred accounts. That's your IRAs, your 401ks, 403bs, et cetera. Not only are they tax deferred, but so is the tax calculation. In other words, most people, when I talk to them about retirement, they're happy and proud to say that they are debt free. And I say, well, that's interesting. What about the lien the federal government has on your retirement accounts? And they don't know what I mean. And that's because the IRS does have a lien on your retirement accounts. You just don't know the size of the lien yet. Let me give you an example. If you, Dennis, wanted to remodel your kitchen for your wife and you had the money to spend, but you didn't want to take it out of investment. So you went to the banker and you said, Mr. Banker, I'd like to borrow $50,000 to renovate the kitchen for my wife. And he says, no problem, Dennis. You and your wife have been good clients of ours, good customers of ours for many years. No problem. Just sign here. Now, there's probably a couple things that you want to know before you sign, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What would those be? Yeah, it'd be the terms of the loan.
Yep, terms and rate and the whole nine.
Yeah, and how much am I going to have to pay you back, and when do I have to pay you? Well, if the banker says, Dennis, don't worry about it. We're doing pretty well right now. We don't need the money. But when we do, we'll let you know, and we'll let you know how much we need. Would you take that loan?
Not at all. Not a chance.
But yet that's what every American has done with their IRAs, 401k plans, et cetera. They don't know how much that lien the IRS has on their retirement account because the IRS hasn't told them how much they're going to need yet, and they don't know what their tax rate is going to be when they start taking money out of those accounts.
Is it possible for me to exit that system? Is it possible for me to be untaxable?
Yeah, it's possible for anyone to be 100% untaxable. Where we run into is everybody's specific situation. The more time you have, the more likely you are to get there. Depending on your assets and how they're allocated, it could take longer or shorter to get there.
So let me ask you this. How do you work with business owners?
First, we like to work with and through their CPA. At Redwood Tax Specialists, we don't want to replace the CPA because we don't do what the CPA does. It's not our job to do tax preparation. Our back office, our team, is made up of some of the best tax reduction CPAs and tax attorneys in the country that have worked for Fortune 100 companies and two of the big four accounting firms. So they know what they do. They know what they're doing. But initially, the way we work out is we collect the information that we need, and then we offer a no obligation, no cost initial assessment of a conservative number of what we think we can save them. If they want to move on, then we implement the plan in conjunction with the CPA, and we make everybody happy. including the CPA.
So Terry, would a good start be for if you're a business owner, you're watching this video, obviously you're concerned about taxes that you're going to be faced. Would a good starting point be to get their hands on the Never Taxed Wealth Blueprint? Would that be the best starting spot, or what do you think?
That'd be a good start. Yes, absolutely. That would start the conversation.
So if you're a business owner, if you at some point plan on retiring, if you're saving money for down the road, for when you're ready to step away from your business, you owe it to yourself to give Terry a call to get a copy of the Never Taxed Wealth Blueprint and get the conversation started. Terry, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that is our time for today. So first off, don't forget that you can watch full Right on the Money Show episodes on our official YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com. Now, that's the spot where you can go to get up-to-date financial news and insights from the top insurance and financial professionals in your area. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.